start the chat window, overlay, and we better change the view too. I'm giving you a bigger view of the game instead of my huge face covered by the headset, by the way. Okay, everything is set correctly. Hello everyone, welcome to my stream again this morning. Welcome again to whoever was here yesterday. This time I'm not going to try and start War Thunder since apparently it never wants to work these days. And we're going to go straight to the good stuff and go play Il-2 Sturmovik, which yesterday was a great news day, as some of you might know. We don't have a dogfight server. Yeah, there is a dogfight server, but it's almost empty. Well, we might as well start from there so we can try the new planes I just get on sale. It was a huge news day for this game, I was saying yesterday. They actually introduced to the public their next episode, which is coming out within the next time frame, about the Battle of Normandy. And finally, fucking finally, the Bodenplatte expansion is coming to Steam. This is very important for me because I have the game within this service, which means I cannot buy straight from their website. Despite what apparently should happen, because one of the expansion, that is the Cuban one, the third expansion, doesn't actually allow you for registering your key on both Steam and the website of the developer, which means I cannot buy another expansion until they eventually finally release this game over Steam. I was willing now to try the new planes I bought. Let's see where I can spawn with the Italian one. Should be within the Axis forces. Maybe here. No, apparently it's not allowed on this server. Maybe here? No. I want to fly the Italian plane. Here it is. MC-202. We was flying this thing the other day on War Thunder, and I must say it was quite surprisingly an excellent plane. I must say this from an Italian point of view. Maybe you don't know, but we actually tend to be a little bit unconvinced by the technology coming from our country. Yet, this is a great plane, with a powerful engine and great armament. So I eventually had to get it also within my favorite simulation, that is War Thunder. Let's see how it is. Yeah, delivery looks great. I like this camo effect. It looks kinda similar to the other planes from the Axis side of the time. Maybe it was somewhat influenced, I don't know. Should write an article of my blog about this plane. I must say I found it quite interesting. The layout of the cockpit is very similar to the one we have in War Thunder, which makes sense, I guess. Being both games quite realistic in their approach. Now, strangely enough, I saw this server was practically empty, yet there seem to be many planes in there. What is that? Probably AI controlled? I've been playing on this server lately. It's very easy to use as a streaming platform because it's so quickly paced. You basically spawn in the middle of the action. But with just one player online, I wouldn't know. Probably we'll move to the campaign now. I also had to test the scripted campaigns that they bought on sale. Never played this before. So I'm fire a second. Okay, all the machine guns are in front, nothing on the wings. That's peculiar. I don't think any other plane within Sturmovik works like this. Yeah, predictably, we have absolutely no one in the server. Let's go somewhere else. Although I must say, there seem to be planes here, but they're German planes. Probably AI controlled. Let's try the Spitfire 2 for a minute, maybe I'll meet someone in there. This is also new for me, just bought it. Many of you probably will have had it for years. But I'm cheap like that, I was waiting for it to go on a big sale. So this is the cockpit of the Spitfire. Never unlocked this one in War Thunder. I only played Russian and Italian planes within that game. So this is completely new to me. So from what I know about this plane, it should be very agile, very nimble, but somewhat slower than German planes. What do we have around here? There's something there. Possibly an enemy? Let's see, maybe I'll be shooting at something soon. Let's see how the... Ah yes, this has guns on the wings. And... it's 2 cannons it seems. I didn't check the configuration of the plane. So, I had seen something over there. Oh, I thought so. Let me see. No, this is the VR overlay. Let me check the map. Ah yes, the Berlanga server doesn't let you see where you are. There are definitely things in the air. I can see them clearly now. They're probably AI controlled. We only have... well, other players are coming in land. After all, yesterday was one of the biggest news day for this game in ages. Too bad I couldn't be Bodenplatte like all the other guys. They said it should come on Steam by the 3rd of December. I'll be eagerly waiting for it, I can tell you. That looks... did it look German to you? Possibly did. My god, this thing can turn. So much in fact that the pilot blacked out. And he blacked out so bad that I'm actually likely going to crash. No, he recovered. Good for me. And for him, I guess. Now, where did that plane go? It looked German to me. Not sure about it. Quite possibly was an enemy. There's a lot of AI controlled planes. That's good for us. What is that? No, that's another Spitfire. That's a friend. Yeah, the fact that you have this color. Well, mine is colored like a German, like a Russian plane. But some Spitfires are grey, which doesn't help with the identification. I'm overeating. Strangely enough, my control for the radiators doesn't seem to be bound for this plane. So that's something I will have to understand. I don't know about it. Apparently, the radiator of the Spitfire is controlled differently. Okay, so we probably won't be able to fly it unless I go and reconfigure my controls. This is going to overheat very soon. But still I'm here, we might as well try to intercept something lest we start with a boring stream. That's the Spitfire from before, I think. It's damaged now. I saw something else. These are tracers. And that's something. That one's coming down. Let's see and chase this guy. Hoping it might be something to shoot at. Oh, wait a minute. I think this server even has padlock views, which predictably doesn't work well with VR. I don't see how it could. But still allowed me to see something moving above my canopy. That's interesting. Let's hope the engine doesn't overheat since we cannot open our radiator. That's not an ideal solution. I guess it should be an enemy since the padlock view wanted to lock it. Now you must know, identifying things in VR isn't always easy. Alda with switching to this headset was a great improvement. Hi guys, hi, thank you for liking my stream. Leave me a comment if you feel like it. This doesn't look like a German plane. Seems very Russian to me. I'm not sure about it. For me at least it's very hard to identify them from behind, which isn't the mark of a great pilot, let me tell you. But when you play single player you usually don't care, you just turn on your labels maybe for a second and cheat like that. Restart the card after 5 minutes. What is that supposed to mean? This server always change the rules, I tell you, all the time. Nah, that's not German, it cannot be. Well, one of these is necessarily an enemy. This looks like a Focke-Wulf. No, it's the Spitfire. So that's the enemy, okay. We finally know. We're shooting at the Spitfire. I can tell you the Spitfire is indeed slow. I expected this. Maybe I damaged that guy. Yes, it's trailing smoke now. Nice guns, they have a nice feel. Like the sound effect especially. Well, sound design in this game is awesome after all. Probably the best I've ever seen in any playing game. This is by far the best simulation you can play in virtual reality right now. Maybe rivaled only by DCS, but that's for modern planes, so it's very different. It's a Spitfire. Everyone actually has a better engine than me. Does anyone know how to spectate? I just got the game. Yeah, I believe many people are in this situation right now. This game is really making the news today. I can't tell you how happy I am, because as I told you, it's probably the best simulation we have in the PC space at the moment. I also tend to enjoy a lot, as I was saying, War Thunder, but War Thunder is much simpler. Even when played in simulation mode, doesn't even come close to this level of detail. Maybe, just maybe, there is something I don't know about the Spitfire, because I cannot believe it's so slow. Ah, yes, since I have... This is strange. I've just engaged the boosted mode of the engine. No, okay, it broke. No, I better not fly something I don't know at all. Let's try to spawn in the Italian plane again, but I'm afraid it's going to let me spawn in the Italian plane only if I go here, where there are no players. That's very disappointing. No, here. Also here. Well, players. AI planes, I mean. This is the other new one I got. I don't know this one either, but it seems to control much more similar to the other planes I own. It has a workable radiator, yeah. I bound this actually to the little wheel on the left of the T1600 joystick from Thrustmaster. Works very well. It's also immersive because in most, well, at least in Russian planes, the radiators are actually controlled by a little wheel, so you actually spin it like if you wouldn't be in the real plane. That's a nice touch. So now we're shooting Allies plane. Okay, that one is already taking a little butt. Let's leave it at that. I love the very fact that I'm flying finally an Italian plane in this game. Me being Italian and all. That's his parachute. Well, good for him, I guess. He saved himself. Yes, the padlock view is activated on the server, good to know. So now I can use it to spot enemies, as they probably are using you also. And that's an enemy, also already damaged. Let's see if you can get at least one kill before going and play the campaign. Is already chased by someone. Restart the car. I believe what this message is trying to tell us is that the server is probably going to restart soon. He names it card, I don't know why. Here he comes. Ah yes, I got him just a little. That's a lag. A Lavoshkin. Come here, little Lavoshkin. He opened his flat fuel apparently. That's a strange strategy. Yeah, that's making a very tight turn. I wonder if he's a real player. Seems to be able out-turning me. I also got a little target fixated, which tends to be dangerous at this altitude. Now he's chased by the other guy, and I believe he's taking a butt also. Yeah, indeed. No, not at all. Did he actually raise the water at some point? Let's see if I can. No, I cannot surprise him because the time on the server is over. He restarted the card, as he was saying. Didn't even get a single point. Okay, that's unfair. 40 seconds to restart. So, as I was saying, I just looked today on the Facebook page for Sturmovik. It was basically on fire. It's incredible the quantity of news these guys have put out in a single day. We have a new patch with apparently many improvements, and I believe also in the very important aspect for me of VR. And they announced the new episode. They started the best sale probably in the entire history of the game. You can basically get anything for like 75% discount. And most of all, here it is, the Battle of Normandy, including the P-51, P-47, a lot of American planes of course, New version of the Focke-Wulf. What is the V1 Bats bomb? Don't tell me that's that's the missile. You actually get to intercept missile in that. That's interesting. Okay. Imagine that above the channel. Wasn't there a special maneuver British pilots used to stop the V1 bombs? Like they pushed it off course with their wing. Incredibly dangerous. That's something I'd love to do in this game. Let's go back on the MC202. I wonder how many of these planes were actually fielded on the Eastern Front. Probably not many. Probably not many. But it seems to have been an excellent plane, that's for sure. Here we see the action in front of us. Yeah, the server's definitely employing a lot of bots because I know the only players yet. Look at that. There's a whole army up in there. That solution, it has the red dots under the wing, another Lavochkin. Come here. I like the gun's placement. Put like this in front. Seems to give you a better precision impression. Besides, I do wonder how it actually works. Maybe they're synchronized to the propeller, like on World War planes. I should read about this plane. It's really not proper. Me being Italian and I know absolutely nothing about our plane within Sturmovik game. Can't turn as well as Russian ones, apparently. Maybe I'm just scared, not knowing its performance. I'll try and pull the cloche a little more next time. No one seems to be behind. Okay, that's good. Sure up and following the correct map. Here he goes. I'm sure the kill will come eventually. As soon as I do get one, I'm going to try the campaign. That's going to be a little bit easier. Well, much easier probably. I don't know about it. I never played the scripted campaign from this game. Seemed like a step backward from the dynamic one it normally employs. Yet could be interesting. Probably has even a plot, maybe characters in it. I don't know. Here he is. That looks good. Come on. Well, it's a bit far. I don't know if I can hit it. Should know more about the convergence. Well, maybe the convergence is less of a factor since the guns are all in the front, the dead front of the airplane. What is there to converge? They just shoot straight. Ooh, lot of stuff down below. That's a Spitfire, isn't it? I sure hope it is. Yeah, it's Russian. Oh, that's German. That's German. Never mind that. Thank you, Alexander, for liking my post. Leave me a comment if you feel like it. Why must Spitfire be grey? That's really confusing. Besides, I don't think they had so many as they seem to be in this game on the Eastern Front. Okay, here's the Russian one. Camo. That's another plane like mine. Yeah, that's the Italian MC202. Trying to understand what you can do as we go. Completely new for me. Yes, the Russian lag. No, these are much better than mine. There's another one. What is that? A MiG? Possibly a yak. This is maybe my chance. No, still didn't hit. What a fierce melee. We're all within a span of like 1 kilometer. Come on. Oh, I cannot turn as well as Russian planes. That's surprising. I didn't expect it. Well, we're mostly playing against AI. It's only another enemy player. Must be because it's so early in the morning. So they actually don't make mistakes. That's the point. They're not very aggressive, which is the reason I didn't die a single time. But they make these perfect turns that no player seems to be able to emulate, and yet make them very difficult to hit. It makes, I believe, for a fairly boring battle, therefore I'm going to switch to the campaign very soon. I also have, you see, there's two aiming sights. The reflex one and another one just seems to be thrown on the canopy. I wonder how you use it. Yeah, it has to be aligned to the right component there on the airframe. I cannot reach him nor out turn. This is boring. Let's go play the campaign. It's bound to be more interesting. Probably the most interesting would be to go on a real simulation multiplayer server, but as you very well know, that tends to require an extremely long downtime of reaching the front. Here it is. So I got the Blazing Steppe and the Fortress on the Volga campaign, and discovering now that there are actually many more campaigns than the ones I bought. Let's start with the first one, Blazing Steppe, and see how it is. This is also completely new to me, set during the Stalingrad battle. I believe this probably came out even before the Battle of Moscow DLC. Now for realism, I would keep everything realistic except for infinite ammo. This usually makes for a more fun mission, because when you're putting a limit on ammo, albeit realistic, actually you're limiting your fun also, because eventually you will have to go and resupply at base, and that also doesn't make for an interesting stream. So this is the first mission. Moscow Stalingrad. Planes barely enough for 2 flights. That's all we have. So it's written in character. When it lights the sear, the flare of the match illuminates our guests and whatever, and we don't care. It's a Yak 169. That's specification of the plane. Where's my briefing? Pre-flight instruction. This mission begins in the air. Okay, I wonder how it works. Follow the Volga toward Verne Pregmoye. The route after that is indicated on your flight map. After smoothness arrives, the group will begin to reduce altitude. Stay with your flight. So it seems to be a fairly simple familiarization flight, maybe scouting, but wouldn't surprise me if trouble were brewing already. Let's see how it goes. Let's keep labels also activated, at least for the moment, so it's easier to tell what's going on. Now we're back in something far more familiar. This is a Yak. The most iconic plane from the period, probably. Okay, I'm deciding the map because, as you may know, it's actually very detrimental to the RFPS for some reason in this game. Look at the moon. Putting time compression at the max. There's no reason to stick here and wait for things to happen. Let's go ahead. Where is smoking coming out of my airplane? That's not good. Well, it's coming out of my wingmates are airplanes too. Must be a temperature thing. Maybe due to the atmosphere. And now we're following the Volga. What is this? The Volga, I mean. Did I get disconnected? And now reconnected, I hope. Yeah, it happened yesterday also. That's just Facebook being Facebook. I'll try to keep information. Of course, we're compressing the time, so it might be a little bit harder. but we'll make for much shorter 22 kilometers. We can start skipping missions just as we began the scripted campaign. It's a fairly interesting image, this formation. Trailing smoke like this, I wonder why. What is that thing down there? Be careful. Now if I hit my friendly wingmate like the V1 I was telling about before, that would be quite annoying. 3 things on the horizon at the moment. Are these enemies, possibly? Completely new for me. I don't know how this mission is going to play out. The briefing was very simple, so it could also be just a mission where you go and land, but something tells me it's not like that. The landscape details for this game are always so awesome. What you might have experienced, or maybe not, is how in VR this actually is one of the few games that gives you a real feeling of scale. That's the great difference it has, in my opinion, from War Thunder or even something like DCS. You actually can tell how far the ground is. It even can give you a little feeling of vertigo when you attack the ground. That is very difficult to experience in other flying games at the moment. Of course, being new as it is, VR has still much room to improve, but I believe this game is a step in the right direction. Much superior to many other alternatives. One thing I don't like, and I never did, is the way time compression never seems to compress enough. I have actually selected now times 8, I believe, but it's almost the same to times 4 and even times 2. You can easily tell it if you watch the clock, you know? Now look, I'm going to activate the HUD again. Yeah, you can see that I'm running at time scale 8, and this is how the hand of the watch moves. Look, if I go to times 4, 8, 4, as you can see, the seconds handle moves in actually the same exact way, which means the times 8 is fake. It doesn't work. Doesn't make much difference even between times 4 and times 2. And that's something I hate, because I enjoy playing a lot, not just the bombers, but most of all attack planes. But if you go for a career mission with this kind of time compression, and you want to play it purely, it takes hours, really. It's almost impossible to play a full bomber mission like this. I've actually written about it on the games forum, to which many people answered to me, well, I can understand the point, but it's a full simulation. Why do you want to compress your time? You have to experience it just like the pilots of the time. Yes, that sounds like a good idea, but I don't have 4 hours for a single mission. Not to mention that this being a video game, you tend to take a lot of risks. And if you die above the objective, that's 4 hours wasted. Even more. I'm not going to do that. So, Bomber's mission have become, for me, mostly a quick mission affair now. What is that? That's a battle, I think. Aren't these tracers? Strange. Well, I'm going for the objective. Let's hope something happens. I'm already bored with these scripted campaigns. Well, it costed just €2, but I believe it should get more interesting now. 9 kilometers now to the objective. Well, the objective. The waypoint. Hi Josh, thank you for commenting my post. Unfortunately, you wrote the comment on the share instead of the stream. I don't know if you're listening, I hope you are. Now, when you comment the share, I cannot see it in the chat overlay for VR, so I cannot read what you wrote me. I'm going to answer you after the stream, in any case. Okay, 5 kilometers to the objective. There's one guy that apparently wants to go before me. Strange. So it seems the first mission is the one where absolutely nothing happens. Turning now to the next waypoint. I'm sure it's bound to improve. We're flying above the area where the 8th Army apparently now is stationed. There should be an airfield to my right. Yeah, I can see it clearly. Here it is. Let's go back into the cockpit. More immersive that way. And that's where I'm supposed to land, I believe. Let's make the turn like the mission intense, because that way we'll be more correctly aligned to the airfield. And now a times 4 compression that actually works would be indeed helpful. I don't think I've ever flown a career mission at this time of the day with the moon in the sky. Looks pretty cool. It's a nice ambience with this kind of dusky light. There's a city here. What is this? This is the city of Zaplavnoe. I wonder if I pronounced it correctly. And now we make the turn, of course, and land finally. Let's turn now time compression. I'm a little bit too high, in fact. I'll have to go around a bit. Let's try and not crash into the fine houses of Zaplavnoe. Shouting at me Russian. Can't understand nothing. Hey, this is Fly Swift. Requesting landing approach. Swift, proceed out. Swift, roger. Break off and land individually. Well, this tells me nothing about when I'm actually supposed to land, so I guess I go first. Am I not the commander here? I should be if I'm not. Seagull, rejoin formation. Follow our mission. But my mission is to land. I'm a seagull. I'm going to land. That's it. You cannot stop me from doing it. 3 kilometers. Is that a little train? Yeah, it's a locomotive. Nice. Now the campaign being scripted, I guess they will have a lot of little set pieces like this. Look at this ground text, I really like it. It has a nice bumpy look. True to life bump mapping. I remember when that was the new best thing in gaming. It was some times ago. Fine, this is Oak 1. It would be helpful to know if I am actually Oak 1 or whatever else. Let's just land this thing. Lowering my gear now. I'm not very well aligned, but this is war, so anything goes. I hope I don't mess up. I actually suck at landing in this game. I usually end up breaking my propeller. Let's hope I don't do it also today. Might want to... yeah, let's use the war space we have available. A little bit too fast and too hard, but still I'm on the ground, and now I brake with the lever on the cloche itself. This being a Russian plane, it doesn't have the very useful differential controlled by pedals like the German ones. I wonder how it worked on the Italian one. I'll have to check it later. And I believe this concludes my mission, or so I hope, because it was an extremely boring and kinda pointless mission. But most scripted campaigns begin like this. This yes is the same. Mission accomplished, good. Second one, Burning Horizon. They weren't expecting us at Zaplavnoe. Was already past the rest of the fight. There's a lot of text here. Fight mission. You and your wing have been ordered to take off and scout targets in the area of Spartanovka and Malaya Orlovka. You will be the flight leader. Armament standard. Fuel 408 liters. 2 Yaks 1. Well, this should be... this probably is going to lead into combat. I believe our protagonist and his friend Guy are going to meet German forces very soon. Okay, looking at the route now, we're going to fly above the river Volga and on the other side of the enemy lines. Well, actually not much so, more like over the front line itself. Let's see if I can configure the plane. No, I can only get the little fixed route radio compass. We're not going to need a radio compass since we have the very useful anachronistic GPS equipped map. We will have to take off this time, however. Is the engine already running? That's the flare. Okay, yeah. Gently increase the throttle. Okay, we know about this. Thank you. Aircraft will be pulled to the right. Keep it on the route using the left pedal. That was kinda hard before I actually went and bought pedals for my setup. Something most simulation players tend to do late, when instead it's actually essential, especially for this kind of planes. Look how the actual suspension from the landing gear is modeled in this game. I don't think I've ever seen it before. It actually feels like you're taking off. Here it is. Good thing we didn't have to taxi, because it's actually kinda hellish in Soviet planes not having the differential from the German ones. You have to be very careful and have a soft touch, otherwise you risk spinning it like you wouldn't believe. It's like Tokyo Drift. Another 3 kilometers to the first waypoint. Okay, and I believe my friend must be following me at this very minute. Yeah, that's the other guy. Probably there's even a plot to this thing, and I haven't read it. So I increase in time compression for as much as I can. We're already at the first waypoint. At least I didn't make long courses. We should be at the action relatively soon. If, that is, there is some action waiting for us, but I believe there will be this time. They can't have 2 useful missions in a row. What's this to the left? Ah, it's another airfield, okay. A little column of something. What are these? Ah, yes, again, they should fix this in the next patches. The level of detail of this game has this strange thing, at least in VR, where when you're flying above something, it actually tends to disappear. You can't know how annoying it is when you're trying to actually save the things, because it actually does it with enemies too. And I believe they don't just disappear, they're actually removed from the game, because sometimes I actually had dropped my bombs on the enemy things, and the hit wasn't registered when the level of detail had them disappear. I'm playing on rather high detailed settings, mind you, so I don't know why it happens. Flying with the sun in the eyes, that would be much more fastidious in real life. Good thing VR has a limit to its lightning conditions. Where is the other guy with the yak? Don't tell me I missed him somewhere. No, here he is. There's also an U-2 VS. What is that? I don't know that plane. U-2 VS. Here I see the Volga over there. It's a rather complex hydrographic situation, this region of Russia. Look at all its affluents. And I believe these are called oxbow lakes. That's when the river actually makes a shape like an IU or an oxbow. Passing another waypoint now. Ah, we have the Volga Naval Flotilla here. That sounds interesting. Hi Nix. Okay, thank you for visiting. As always, you're very welcome. As you see, I'm playing Sturmovik again, because unfortunately War Thunder never runs for me. I don't know what happened. They completely broke the game, at least for VR, with the new patch. Besides, you may perhaps know, because I actually tagged you yesterday, that they released well, no, not released yet. They actually discounted almost everything. I bought some modules I didn't have. This is a scripted campaign for the game. I'm also summarizing what I'm doing for the others that came online now. Okay, for as long as you want to stay, it's a pleasure for me. And I bought some models, as I was saying. Also, in about a week, we're going to have the much expected release on Steam for the new big expansion, actually set in Germany, with a lot of new planes. I'm really eager to play that. There's a ground battle going on here. So, as I was saying, I'm sorry we are no longer able to play together now, but unless they actually update War Thunder and fix the problem, I can no longer play that thing. It's a damn shame, let me tell you. I see finally enemy planes in the air. Okay, ground units over there. These are probably tanks. And a couple of presumably fighters. coming my way. There's also a big battle to the left. Here it is. What do you say? Should I go and join the battle, Nix, or try and intercept these guys? Well, I believe since I do have a wingmate, it's going to be 2-on-2. I'll try and fight. They're also lower than me. That's probably intentional on the mission designer's part. They want to put you in an easy situation since it's the first battle. Ah, these are also bombers. No, actually, Junkers 52. I believe these are ground attack planes. No, they're actual bombers. Ah, that's bound to look interesting. Now I show you how you get to intercept bombers in VR and actually feel the fear of the debris they're going to release as they zip by your planes, hopefully not breaking propellers. Control surfaces are other important parts of it. Well, I definitely did some damage. Ah, they actually don't have a retractable gear, it seems. It stays out. So it's an early scenario of the Battle of Stalingrad. Where are you? Here they are. Well, first one is probably already damaged enough. Yes, these are all parachutes. How many people were in that plane? Ah, that was carrying ground troops. That's something you wouldn't be able to see unless it's a scripted mission. Yeah, he dropped his contingent of troops. That's incredibly cool. So we're actually fighting troop transport planes. Thank you for sharing the post, Nix. You're always too kind. Okay, this one's going down. Unfortunately, they already released these troops. They're actually playing an important role in this ground battle, I believe. Ah, here is the other GO2. You have to strain your neck really a lot when playing Flying Dance in VR. What's that code after the name? 3MG4E. That's probably, you know what that is. Since this is an older module, this campaign I believe was one of the first they released. It probably doesn't interface well with the new logic for running named planes. Now when you play the dynamic campaign, the current one, every pilot has a name, and it's possible, I believe even likely, that this being an older module, they didn't assign a name to these planes, so it's just called by its code, 3MG4E. Very robotic. I guess he also released these troops. Well, that's not good reason to let him go back to base, is it? Let's remove this. It looks not cool having that shitty crosshair. Okay, this is going downwards. Well, I'm not so sure about it. These are quite heavy planes, I believe. Yeah, still holding up. Well, whether he can return to base or not is another matter. But we better finish him, I guess. Mr. 3MG4E. Sounds like something out of an Asimov novel. Did you obey the third law of robotics? Well, maybe the third. Probably not the first two, since he's out here causing problems for the troops. I actually hate the shooting aid because it's often wrong. I don't know if you noticed, if you ever used it, but if you shoot by following the shooting aid, most of the time you end up missing. Well, not something as big as that thing. I seem to have some holes in my fuel tank, possibly. We're not going to be put off by that. Primary objective in progress. Let's go back to the big battle I saw when passing over the River Volga. I can still see the planes on my very, very useful and anachronistic GPS map. But apparently also has a functional data link to the AWACS plane currently above Stalingrad, that they presumably got from a time machine or something like that. It's a big formation up there. Something more. That's a friend, okay. I wish I could tell what these things are, but as soon as I zoom, as you see, the game very helpfully removes the tanks from existence, if they are indeed tanks. because who am I to know? I don't deserve it. Okay, there is something on the ground. There is something. Here are the enemies. 4 kilometers now. These are probably fights that's going to be a little more difficult. Apparently the city of Stalingrad is always on fire in this game. This is after all called the Battle of Stalingrad. They never can stop these fires. Okay, these are actually Henkels. Again, fairly big planes. Probably they have also a rear gunner. Let's hope it doesn't finish destroying my engine or fuel tank. Might be actually quite dangerous to go and attack such a formation. Maybe I should leave them. Yeah, I'll go back to the city also because they're a little too far and high. I'm not sure I can intercept them. Let's put time compression to the max once again, which is unfortunately far from what I'd like, but it's still faster. I suppose after all I am tasked with defending Stalingrad and these guys are going back to the enemy territory. There's no need to pursue. The waypoint is now situated on the way to the base. Yes. The mission is actually... well, it says primary objective in progress, but I believe we completed it. We probably had to bring down the troop carrier... no, that's the statistics. The troop carrier airplanes. Let's see what the briefing said. It's very helpfully covered by the chat window. I have to move like this. The route is marked on your map. Your goal is landing. Again, my goal is just landing. So I guess I did more than necessary. Let's move on. Let's see the next mission. I go back to base. 20 kilometers now. I engage the flight leveling autopilot. Again, not very realistic, but far from useless. Look at the graphic of this game. War Thunder doesn't even come close. The lighting effects, the smoke, everything is extremely well made. It's too bad it has this strange thing where things suddenly disappear in VR. But I believe they'll fix it eventually. I trust them to do it. Trailing a lot of smoke now. How's the engine? Let's see, the temperature is this, okay. Well, as long as you're below 100. Maybe I'll open a bit the radiators. No, I cannot control them. Okay, it's set with the auto management of the engine. There's a guy there that has turned on its landing lights. Strange because... yeah, there's an airstrip there. Is that mine? No, it's the one we saw on our way to the objective. My friend is also behind me, a little bit left behind. Okay, more to the left now. No, that's my airstrip, yes. Indeed it is. After the river. Never mind that, it's after the river. Yeah, Zaplanova is to the left. As they said, they weren't expecting us in Zaplanova. Sounds more grim than it actually is, since he's speaking about his friends. Yeah, there's actually 2 airports. No, it's the same. You go around and turn. Who's drawn this map? This flight route? Such a waste of time. Well, at least I have time to slow down this time. Let's start to reduce time compression. Wouldn't want to land at ×4, even if it is not, as I was saying, true ×4. I cannot tell if the time compression is at 0 unless I turn up the engine, and I can tell by the sound. Okay. Want to be sure. Yeah, it's 0. As I was saying, I tend to keep the HUD off because it robs you of like 20, 30 frames per second. It's almost crazy actually. I will show you the effect later. Now I'm landing, so I better not. But whenever you turn on the map and HUD, this game loses like 20 frames per second. It's very strange. It's the only game that works like this. What the hell, I love to land with sun in the eyes. And it works even when looking from the outside view. I can't believe how much harder it makes the thing. You see, you listen to the sound when I go with my head actually out of the airplane. That's another unrealistic aspect. I cannot see the landing strip, but I believe I know where it is. Or at least I hope so. Yes, finally I can see it. Ah, look at the Polikarpov biplane. That's the plane from the guy who designed the I-16. It's an important plane who did a lot for the Eastern Front. I believe it's actually flyable with another module, but they were mostly scouting airplanes at this point. I see more yaks. A truck. Here's another Polikarpov. Well, the airfield is much more busy than it looks in the dynamic campaign. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Okay. And let's go to the third mission. Maybe it's the one where we finally get to dogfight something. I hope so. It would be about time. Successful landing. Finish? Get into work, I like this title. After we landed our fighter, we were immediately surrounded by pilots from the squadron who prepared us with all sorts of questions. Well, you don't have to write like 4 paragraphs for each mission. Model the overcast, Sturmovik, codename Elm. You and your flight leader have been ordered to take off and cover a flight of attack planes from the 1811 She-Ape. I don't know what it is. You will be the wing commander for this mission. Prefect the sergeant. Once you receive permission and a green signal, take off and fly north. After gaining altitude above the airfield, cover a flight of Il-2s, so it's an escort mission. Good, I hate this. Well, I guess they are going to get attacked. If your fighter appear, cover the attack planes as they land. Mission and goal is landing at Sturmovik once more. Start. It's almost exactly the same flight course as a little ago. Well, now I recognize the pattern. It's a little bit like this, yes. When the mission is scripted, you tend to have 4 or 5 missions with the same exact flight path. Feeling the tactile, I hadn't read, Nixo, what you wrote about my stream. Thank you, you're always too kind. I wish I had that kind of initiative myself. Here comes the flare. Let's hope the chat window didn't freeze, by the way. Yesterday it did without feedback. No, okay, I'm up to date. Taking off now. Opening the throttle. Full power. There's a P-40 there. Hey, American planes overfly us. Probably brought here by a land-lease program such as they had in the era. I believe there must be Russian pilots in there. Okay, taking off. As here. Now I don't have to raise the flaps since I very conveniently forgot to lower them. That's very convenient. I don't think the briefing told me about where I'm supposed to rendezvous with the ground attack planes, but good, I see them, so that's all good. We don't have all these complex waypoints they put in place in the dynamic campaigns for the purpose of rendezvous. So I don't know if I better go back and actually join with them. No, I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and scout. They're going to need advanced cover in any case. I'm now raising tank compression again. When I raise tank compression, I put in the external view so you guys can tell we're actually modifying the flow of time. This sounds like something out of Magic the Gathering. They did say resetting the card while we were playing online before, for some strange reason. I see another 3 yaks of escort. Where is my wingmate? Don't I have a wingmate in this mission? Well, apparently not. Now you might not tell it, but I always turn the view to the right when I employ external view and never to the left, because if I turn to the left, what happens is that the cursor escapes the games window and goes taking off its priority and giving it to the chat window, so that's trouble in VR. And I better never turn my view to the left. Well, these guys seem to be pretty fast for Sturmoviks. Maybe it's the earlier version, the one without the rear turret, therefore being lighter and faster. We might as well join with them, as we're supposed to. Let's see if they have the rear gunner. Should be able to tell if I go information with these guys. Maybe a little bit closer. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure about it. I better not risk it. Besides, I'm supposed to scout ahead. I keep reading on that map the Volga Naval Flotilla, which I'd love to see, but appears to be nowhere to be found. That's a column of trucks, I presume, too many, and two in line to beat tanks. Tanks rarely advance like this on a road in this game. And now they are helpfully disappeared by the game. Yeah, they were trucks. They appear to disappear exactly when they shouldn't, as if you were preparing a run to strafe them. That's so not nice on the game's part. I better not go too far away from the Sturmoviks. There are the planes, but if they get intercepted, they'll be in trouble. Everyone's trying smoke in this mission. I don't know why. Must be summer. Maybe the engines are just a little bit hotter, so they do like that. Not yet at the River Volga, but I start seeing the fires of Stalingrad. And now I get to take a good peek at these Sturmoviks. Try to get close to them. Yeah, it is missing in it. Yeah, my idea was correct. They don't have the rear gunner. So they're going to need a lot of help when the enemy eventually arrives. And here it is. Here comes the enemy. And now we're having no sound because I'm using time compression. It's going to come back as soon as I go back to times 1, which I'm doing right now since the situation starts to get a little worrisome. I count 1, 2, 3, 4. No, these are friendlies. That's a friendly. So there's an ongoing battle. No, there isn't that many enemies yet. Plus they're much higher than me, so it will take a while to catch up. Let's look for a minute. Look there. The Sturmoviks keep going below. Okay, they seem to be safe for the moment. I might even try and go help up there, that is if I can reach it. We have now 300 kilometers of speed. It's going to go down very fast as I gather altitude. It's actually fire going on there. Not just the smoke. Yeah, of course the BF-19. It's not like the German employed many other types of planes. It's always a BF-19. Unless that is you go on fairly non-historical dogfighting servers such as before. Or you could engage a dynamic campaign being the little special snowflake you want to be and select one of the race squadron that are the premium planes of your choice. I'm going to do it later. I want to more thoroughly test the Italian plane, and it seems at this time of the day we'll have to do it single player. The friendly planes are just I-16. Now I say just, they're actually fairly good planes, but they're very slow and underpowered compared to one on Emirates. I keep it in a shooting aid. When it's high speed it actually helps. I better not fail, since then we'll have to play the mission again. There's more plane coming. Coming in range very soon. Is he going down already? Yes, I believe. Well, by the smoke is trailing, I don't think he'll be in a flyable condition much longer. Ah, he blacks out again. They really changed the tolerance level for the pilots in the new, more recent patches. You used to be able doing such turns. We're going... okay, 450 I can gain some altitude back. I lost sight of the Sturmovik still. Here they are, okay. So I better try and catch up with the enemies up there. Look at the... it's a complete mess in the sky. We have enemies all around. I seem to be too low for trying to intercept this guy. Let's go back to the Sturmovik, I tell you. It's better. I'm risking much by leaving them alone like this. I'll activate tank compression again while looking very closely at the speedometer, because we're going 500 now. That is a bit high for this plane. So maybe don't push the control stick too much ahead. No, you better slow down. Imagine if I broke my airframe like that. That would be embarrassing. These are probably enemies. They seem to be out of the picture. Now we're flying a slightly marshy territory. There's only 3 Sturmoviks here. Weren't they more at the beginning? I sure hope I didn't lose some along the way. I don't see any around in any case. I love that plane. I wish I could still fly it, having as much fun as I did in the older versions of the game. Now you have so much downtime, you end up actually hating to fly the Sturmovik. It's also a slow plane, so that doesn't help. Is that an enemy airfield? I'm going to lower tank compression just for hearing the sound of their engine. This is Avison sound design from the game. Okay, let's try and shorten our downtime a little more. We're actually going back to base, okay. So I guess the mission must be completed. Well, it says in progress, but actually your objective in this campaign seems to always be land, so it will be in progress until it's done, as they say. I see combat over there. Well, I probably better not risk it, since unlike the dynamic campaign is we fair, we'll have to play this again. We better go and escort our planes safely back to base. If all the time compression really worked as it should. Yeah, look at this. You zoom the troops disappear. What a letdown. At least I get to enjoy a nice sight of the Sturmovik along the way. Looks way cooler than you can imagine when you're looking at it with VR. You have an amazing feel of depth from your cabin to the objects outside. It's incredibly immersive. At least in my opinion at the moment, the absolute best thing you can play in VR are flight simulation. Maybe driving games come close. But what you do in a driving game most of the time is just look ahead. You rarely turn on your sides like you do when in a dogfight. So, at least for me, this is the absolute best VR game that exists right now. And in my heart, I believe won't be even beaten by the first AAA ones that are coming out in the next months. Because ultimately, when you play VR, you're simulating a place, so if you have to move around, you create this kind of disconnect where the steps you take in real life don't correspond to the steps you take in the game, unless that is you're actually inside the cockpit and piloting a vehicle. That's also the reason I always loved simulation games, even back in the 90s. How far is the blasted airport? Okay, we're almost there. I don't think anyone is going to tell me nothing if I go and undercut the flying path to land straight now. Let's try to shorten our wait. If it doesn't work, I'm going to play something different. Maybe go back to multiplayer. But I believe it should, and so we can move on to the next mission. I'm even more wrongly aligned than the last time. But that's good, because making a tight turn like this is going to slow me down greatly. Now going to 50. Lowered my gear. Listen to the sound of the gear against the air. It's so well done. Lowering my flaps for as much as I can. Let's go external. So we can try and not break the propeller as I always end up doing. And a soft touchdown this time. Well, not so soft maybe, but soft enough. Bam! Come on, stop this thing. Here it is. And brake. Brake. That's my tent, I believe. There's no one under it. No, there's another one there. Let's go and taxi the plane. No, I'd rather not. Okay. Brakes are screeching and we're stopped. Finish the mission. Give me something more interesting now. Mission accomplished. Someone else's wings. As morning approached, we were awoken by a series of powerful explosions. We don't care. Flight mission. Flying solo render aid to a standby pair while covering a return group of Il-2s from the 811 SAHP. Start arranging a taxi to the runway. We get to taxi this time. Well, that's bound to be fun. Let's hope I don't mess it up. It's quite difficult to taxi in Warbirds from this era. At least the Yak has a locking tailwheel. The LA is even worse. I better remove a layer. This is going to be difficult. Oh, finally a different flight path. Okay, let's check out the situation from an external view. Always only rotating to the right, as I said. Well, there isn't much to taxi here. I presume it was. You only have to move sideways. So, start your engine. As I am, close the canopy. I believe I had it bound to the X key. Yes. The engine startup is luckily automatic. It's not like DCS where you have to flip dozens of switches. Look, even at this distance, if you zoom the track disappears. Such a disappointment. Priming cylinders with fuel, battery on, gear indicator lights, radio, first engine magneto. Ignition coils engaged. And testing the rudder. The brake, as I said, is actually this little lever here. You don't brake by the pedals in this plane. not any other Russian ones. Now, if I'm not mistaken, no, yeah, these are on the canopy. Ah, no, yeah, it's reset to a button on the... No, wait, I'm already spinning. Where is my lock tail wheel button? But we don't have to do it, perhaps. We're so close to the runway. But I better go and check it next time I need. You have a key that actually unlocks the wheel, the little wheel behind on the plane, on the tricycle assemblage of the gear. Because, as I said, you have no differential on this plane. It's much easier in the German ones. But when he said taxi, he didn't really mean it. You actually have to start your engine and then go basically straight. So we don't yet care. We're going to care at the next mission maybe. Just keeping it straight with the rudder and gently taking off. Like this. They have a wingmate. Who knows? Thunder. No. That's not. I better not do anything strange. If I leave the clutch, I'm going to crash. There's the gear. There's the flaps. Never lowered the flaps, as always. Forgot to. So we're going to provide support to an Il-2, I believe it's said. It's much closer than before, just 3 kilometers. Already I see a button on the very convenient AWACS provided GPS map. Quite anachronistic, to say the least. Okay, 1, 2, 3 friendlies in the air and 3 enemies, of course. Now, one of these is also friendly, apparently. That's the objective, I believe. So, the stranded Il-2 must be over there. Let's hope he doesn't become dead stranded, as Kojima would say. Yak wants zooming all around. Let's increase time compression. Well, these don't seem too well off. The 2 enemies we see here are already surrounded by our friends. Let's go and make their life even worse. I don't see why not. 1 kilometer now. Let's see what so. No, I'm keeping it on for the moment. Yeah, I believe 0304 is supposed to be the name of the pilot. Although, unfortunately, they didn't set pilot names for these older campaigns. That's a real shame. They should upgrade them. Tends to happen with this sort of ongoing products. PCS is also like this. Some of their older modules have become sort of neglected with the years. Come on! Doesn't want to die, this guy. 0304, very attached to life. Oh, wait a minute, pull the clutch too much. I seem to have put an hole in him, at least something is escaping this airframe. I hope it's nothing disgusting. Come on. Effing die. Yes. Yes, now you met the fury of the Soviet Yak-1. You clearly see his propeller stopped. Now he's on fire. Maybe I've been a little rough with this guy. He won't even have time to jump off the plane. These are the Il-2 I have to protect, I presume. Let's go to them, with time compression to the max, of course. Okay, now going straight to the objective. Well, they're almost to base, actually, so the mission's already over, I guess. I'm not liking this dynamic campaign much. Let's go back to the... this scripted campaign. Let's go back to the dynamic one. I want to field the MC202. Nothing happens every mission. It's always like this. You go, you shoot down one plane, mission's over. Nah, we can do better than this. I'll go to the dynamic one now. Continue to cost it only €2. Well, maybe it's going to get more interesting, but for now I'm going to switch mode. Just let me land this bird once again. That's what I'm speaking about. It's kind of repetitive. Just make me land once, damn it. Why do you have to land every time? Yes, the Sturmovik's coming down. This time I didn't take the opportunity to go the opposite way, thus shortening the flight time. I'd also like to pilot the Spitfire, but for doing that I first have to understand how the radiator is controlled, because my bound key doesn't do anything. Tell you what, I'll go and check that after this mission. Just because it's annoying that I don't know what is that Il-2 doing. It won't land on my head, I hope. Here it comes. This time no sun in the eyes. So now I think I understand why they want you to go around for landing. It's a safety thing. Landing with the sun in the eyes is never helpful. And I broke the propeller at last. I know it was bound to happen sooner or later. That's because I didn't cheat by using the external view. I believe it's not a big mistake. It tended to happen at the time too. Plus, you take a hammer, you can straighten it in a minute. Or something like that. Finish mission, okay. And I'll go dynamic now, because these scripted missions, yeah, they look cool, but they seem to be all the same in the end. It's actually, they managed to create a randomizer of missions that is more interesting. One step ahead of that. Well, that sounded interesting, but I'm bored with that mode for the minute. So let's go career. You might have heard about the story of the glorious Bernd Pfeiffer, that was our character from the other day, a famous playboy from Berlin, that even shot down 8 planes in one mission, but then ended up going down in enemy territory, and was ultimately captured and brought to a gulag somewhere. So we're not going to play him. Besides, we want to play the Italian plane, which I presume will be in the German side. That would make sense, I guess. And how do I look for it? Well, one of these battalions will have it. No, these are all bombers. What is this? No, it's a BF. Junkers. BF. Well, I believe there must be only one battalion having it. Well, one group, I should say. Maybe they're not in this era. Perhaps we will have them in the Battle of Cuban. Possibly they were brought to the theater later on. Again, let's look at the German side of things. No, still no. Don't tell me I'll have to play a normal German plane. I want to try the new one. Still nothing? No, they don't appear to be in here. Yet I thought I had seen them. Let's try the Battle of Moscow then. Doesn't seem likely though. BF, here it is, 22esimo gruppo autonomo caccia terrestre. So they're actually having Italian pilots in this. I wonder if I'm going to create an Italian character. Let's see. Let's go to the second phase of the battle though. It's probably more interesting. Gruppo autonomo caccia terrestre. No. He's a German athlete. Don't we have an Italian wannabe? The transport. Italian dreamer, yeah. I want to be an Italian dreamer. Doesn't change anything. I don't know. It says he's born in Correggio. Correggio, I said it in a British way. No, in Correggio. Anton Drews. The name is not Italian by any means. Okay, we don't care. He's an Italian dreamer. I didn't. No, I made a mistake. I had to be a commander, otherwise we're going to get sort of boring missions. Wait, start over. Now you will have to load. City under siege. Via. I don't want to do that. I want to be a commander. It's a great advantage, you will see. Delete this guy. This very not Italianly named Anton Drews. Battle of Moscow, we said. Germany. Well, more or less. Second scenario. Gruppo autonomo caccia terrestre. Here it is. And, I set the parameters here. Emil Meyer, the famous Italian dreamer from the city of Correggio. And he's also a commander. Because being a commander is more fun, and we want to have fun. Skipping the full motion video, we don't care for that. Hauptmann, since this is your first day here, you have nothing to do. Next day, skip the first day. Yeah, Emil isn't a very Italian name. I guess he must be a foreigner. Maybe born and raised in Italy, who knows. And finally we have our randomly generated mission, and most of the time I'm much more interested in the scripted campaign. Look. That looks like something out of a Miyazaki movie. I love this emblem. Is that an actual Italian emblem? Planning room. Okay, river crossing cover and ground troops cover. Let's hope they give us interesting missions. Sometimes these tend to be boring, but let's hope that's not the case. Now, me being the commander, as I said, is a great advantage because I can modify the route and actually try to shorten it as much as I can, so we will have less downtime, always because unfortunately time compression for this game never works. When you're starting there, you might know it, you actually start at the second waypoint, so if you take the waypoint and move it as close as possible to the objective, what you get is a much shorter mission. That's a great advantage, because this is a game where you have to look for your fun. If you play entire escorting mission or mission where you get an objective such as this, you tend to lose a lot of time before the combat actually happens. When the game loads, you better go to the VR overlay, otherwise it gives you a crossed image that actually hurts your eyes. I don't know why. This isn't a game that was originally made for VR, but it doesn't show most of the times. Well, most of the times. It's now almost loaded. I can't wait to take off in the jet. The German jet they included in the Battle of Bodenplatte, ME400. I wish I already could. Okay, here it is. Let's see how we can configure this thing now. I think I'll take the gun pods, because yesterday by playing with larger gauge guns I had a lot of fun. They have an absolute devastating power in this game. Let's also pick the armored windscreen just in case we end up fighting bombers with the rear machine guns. The plane will be heavier, of course, but we'll have to make do. Look at the gun pods under the wings, they're so big they actually peek out. I wonder if I also still have the machine guns in front. They're hard to see. But the slots are there, but there still seem to be guns there. There are holes. Well, maybe the holes will shoot. We'll know soon enough. Okay, we're already above the objectives thanks to my little stratagem that I told you about. So now all we have to do is engage time compression and hope for the best. The best being that the enemy actually comes, because in this kind of mission, as you may know, it doesn't always do that, and I would hate for the resulting waste of time. But it's not yet everything lost. Let's hope it happens. I'd like to see what I'm protecting too, going a little bit below the clouds. Look at the water on the windshield when you pass the clouds. I don't see anything in the ground. Strange, because the objective is right here. And I'm covering a river crossing, so it's possible it's all ground troops. That is infantry. Rather small and hard to see. Ah, yes, that's the bridge. That's usually a makeshift bridge they're using to cross. But it's already half destroyed. Strange that they don't have labels. I think they were activated. Ah, yes, you have the generic one indicating the objective. Okay, I'm still at maximum time compression, and I fly downwards above them while hoping the enemy actually shows up. Ah, we're all Italian planes here. That's good. Ciao compatrioti. Saluti da un abitante del vostro stesso paese, speaking Italian. Ludwig, yeah, very Italian name. Albert, I mean, shit, what are you doing? You should use Italian names for Italian pilots. Well, I must tell you, the clouds is one of the things that don't look very good in VR. They did something wrong with them, I believe. You have sort of an aura all on the periphery of your plane. Doesn't look excellent, but it's still serviceable. It works, let's say. Where is the enemy? Where is the enemy? Let's sing the song of Where is the enemy? Or maybe the Italian anthem. Well, I'll get to that when I actually start shooting down things. There's something over there. No, these are friendlies too. Oh, the engine is overheating. Better open. No, I cannot open the radiator. It's automatic in this mode. Okay. More ground troops. Some vehicles. Tanks, I presume. Oh, these are ground emplacements, probably. Yes, they are. But even get bored and actually cross the enemy lines. Because I'm the commander, of course I can do whatever the hell I want. So let's try and meet the enemy midways. Maybe that will give us a more interesting sequence. I could ask for them to cover me, maybe. Is it done with the C key? Yeah. Flight leader orders. No? Yeah, flight leader orders. Orders. Cover me. That should make the whole wing follow me. Hopefully. And of course leave the objective unguarded, but since it was a boring mission, I think it's warranted. Here they come, here they come. It was actually a good strategic move, I tell you, because it allowed us to preemptively intercept the planes. Just a couple. I-16s, well, I can easily take them. So I hope. I actually don't know this Italian plane very well. It seems to have a lot of firepower, even more so now that we mounted the gun pods. But it's kinda slow. Now that's not going to pose a problem against I-16. That's its lowest team that was in the skies at this time. Russians are actually have actually Russian names, unlike Italians. And the famous Italian Emilio. So you can either use the reflex sight or the iron one, like this. Mission critical objective completed. What are you speaking about? It's not true. Ah, okay. So, It actually still have the machine guns in front in addition to the gun ports. That's how it's on firepower. I'd love to intercept a bomber in this thing. My team had set up a quick mission to try. They already killed that guy. I better not dive until they both did. Look at the name of this guy. No, that's the Supermarine, I believe. Zero, but what are you? A warlock. Okay. No, still alive. Fucking die, man. For the motherland. Well, it's going down. Let's go to the other one. Better not waste ammo, even though it's infinite. Here comes my fellow wingmate. Almost crashed into him. I said, cover me. Don't run into me. BF and C. Where is the other I-16? Maybe they already shoot it down. Yes, now the great advantage we have with quick missions. No, I still see it in there. I'll tell you about the advantage after I shoot down this guy. The other I-16. Time compressing it to the max. Now slowing down. Salvatore Strelkov. Okay, there you go. Red Italia sends his regards. Now let's go back to base. But we don't have to go back to base because, as I said, the great advantage of the dynamic campaign is that when you are within friendly territory, you can actually just finish the mission. It's going to be accomplished, thus saving even more time. Time management is essential in this kind of games. Otherwise, you end up watching the screen more than you actually play. As you see, the mission is accomplished. Let's offer something more interesting now. Just 2 enemies shot down. Iron Cross second class. Okay, Pilot HQ. No, it's planning room. No, it's another river crossing cover. No, I'll tell you what, it's a ground troops cover, it's the same. Since I have just another 20 minutes available on the stream before I have to disconnect, let's go and do something more faster paced. I'm launching again the multiplayer for a quick dogfight of another 20 minutes or so. Wings of Liberty is fairly populated, but that's going to take too long. But we have 10 players in the Berloga server, that's good. And I didn't check how the radiator of the Spitfire is controlled. Let's go and look at it. I'd actually rather enjoy to try that plane too now, since I bought it today. Now loading up. Come on. So apparently the keys I have bound for oil and water radiator don't work with the Supermarine Spitfire, so we'll have to fix it. Still loading. Still loading. Still loading. We are ready when you are, Sturmovik. I have now control of the cursor. Although I still don't see. Yeah, it's working. No, don't leave the server. You cannot open. No, maybe if I go spectate. No, let's not. I better not do anything strange at this point of the stream. Let's go and play. Again, give me the MC202. And play, just play. Okay, where is the enemy? Or any kind of plane would do actually. Making a quick 360 turn. But there's nothing in the sky. What a disappointment. And yet, we do have a lot of players in match. I think I spawn around DB1, which tells me there should be actually stuff happening around me. This doesn't appear to be the case. Let's try another spawn. Finish mission. Here. I want to go here. Ah, finally. There's something there. Still too far to attempt an identification. Won't be for long in any case. There's two planes there, I see to the right. 3, yeah, the whole gang is there. That's the whole match basically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 down below. These two seem to be chasing each one out. They should all be players this time. External view lets you see farther for some reason. Or in any case makes it more clear. So since it's solid on this server, we better use it. He seems to be making loop-the-loops. This isn't an acrobatic server now. Looks Russian? Yeah, looks very Russian. It's green. Yes, that's a yak or a lag. We can shoot him. If it's indeed needed, since he seems to be attempting to crash himself. Now we're 2 on 1. What the hell? Well, I certainly have damaged him. I don't know if enough. This is a strange maneuver. A risky one. Almost crashed into him. Again I hit him. And I believe he's finished. Nah. I should remember I no longer have unlimited ammo. It's going to be a factor. What do you want, man? Now he gets him. Well, I should have the assistance on that. I did damage the guy. Let's see. Maybe I'm going to be awarded later. I don't like the sound of things. It's right behind me. Let's try to surprise him. Lower the flap a bit. No! No! He crashed into me. Well, at least it's alive for life. He actually broke his wing, while my airplane actually didn't tell. Yeah, I just broke the top of the tail. Unfortunately, I was too low to recover. Yeah, on that, okay. Finish, spectate. spawned from the same place. I want to keep flying the Italian plane. Here they are. Let's achieve revenge. I started the card after 4 minutes. It's always speaking about cars, this server. Whatever it means. This looks like a fairly inviting occasion. I wonder if it's a Russian plane. It looks so... they crashed one into the other. Okay. What a waste. 2 possible targets gone in a second. Someone's bouncing their tracers on the lake itself. What is that? What is that? It's German. Yeah, it's a German plane. That instead is not German, as understandable by the fact that it just broke my windshield with some ammo. Good thing he didn't hit the pilot. I see tracers and someone behind. There he is. Again. Bad situation. This one? What is this? That's an I-16. Oh, that's an I-16. It's a good chance. At least if I'm still airworthy. This kind of multiplayer dogfight tend to be very chaotic. It's ultimately mostly down to luck. Sometimes in war maybe it worked just like this. Wouldn't surprise me in fact. I-16 is so small, makes it harder to hit. Don't have time to try to identify these other guys. Well, he's going down, that's for sure. I wonder if I got the kill. Would be correct if I did. Most of the times games aren't that fair. Yeah, in fact I wasn't awarded. It sucks, man. Two planes behind. Cannot tell what they are yet. Looks German. Not sure, mind you, but it looks like a German plane. This on the other end, it has a white bottom, usually indicates Russia. He's also chasing the German one, so that's a dead giveaway. Let's try and save his ass. No, the match is over. Well, the match is over. This sucks. Okay, I'm also almost out of time, so I guess we better start to wrap it up. Too bad I couldn't get player kill. Did I get one maybe at the beginning? Yes, if I'm not mistaken. Then we went and played campaign. So at this point, let me report my impression after this session of about 2 hours, as it's written on the video description. Wait a second. As it's written on the video description, I have bought on sale 4 modules. two premium planes, that is the Italian MC-202 and the Supermarine Spitfire, and I bought the two scripted campaigns, Blazing Steppe and I believe Fortress on the Volga. So didn't have time to try both scripted campaigns, but from what I've seen at this moment probably they're not worth it. They seem to be more limited in scope from the actual dynamic campaign of the game. The planes on the other hand, I like them, especially the Italian one. Didn't have time to test the Spitfire because I still don't understand how the radiator is controlled. I would say they're worthy additions to anyone's collection though. I would buy them if I were you. If you don't have them yet, they're just $4 after all. On the campaigns, it's up to you. If you're interested in more set pieces, maybe even a story, perhaps it's worth it. Even though I suspect that when Bodenplatte comes out next week, you probably never play them again. I know I probably won't. And this wraps it up for this morning. So have a nice rest of the morning. I'll be back online in about 5-6 hours. And of course I'll be glad to have you in the stream. I don't know if I'll be playing Sturmovik. Probably I'll try to play War Thunder again, but it doesn't seem to work ever these days. So we'll see. In any case, have a nice day and goodbye. Thank you for being on the stream. Like and follow my page if you feel like it. And bye from Italy.